Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. It's Dr. Janice Hooker Fortman with Relationship Matters TV. Guess what? I'm not getting on my soapbox today. Last episode I had one foot on and one foot off. So I decided to take both of my feet off. And hopefully I won't have to get back on. Okay? All righty. This is February. It's Black History Month, but it's also the Love Month. Valentine's Day is right around the corner. So you men who are looking, don't forget, go out and get something. Don't wait until the last minute to go find a card and a box of chocolates. Think about what your significant other wants. And women, same thing. I'm not going to leave you out. Think about what your significant other would appreciate from you on Valentine's Day. I know some people who are going to Portugal. Isn't that something? And going to Mexico and going to some resorts. And they're really going to celebrate Valentine's Day because it's been so long that we could go anywhere. So anyway, I hope everyone enjoys their Valentine's Day. Now, since this is Love Month, that's the theme of this show. It's all about love. And today we have as a special guest, her name is Cheryl Guidry, and I hope I'm pronouncing her name right. I should have asked her, but I'm looking at it phonetically. And she is a relationship coach and a woman's health expert. She has over 34 years of experience, so we're going to really get some good old tips and techniques. She has worked with hundreds of women over the years, and she knows about the plight of women as it relates to dating, in midlife. So what she's going to do is talk to us about that. She's a divorcee herself, and she's going to talk about her program and the steps that she used to heal after her marriage of 21 years ended up in divorce. And even though she said she would never get married again, she did. She's remarried. She has 6 adult children in a blended family, 2 sets of twins, 8 grandchildren. Wait a minute, 2 grand dogs, and a wonderful, loving husband. So let me bring to you Miss Cheryl Guidry. Hi, Cheryl.
Hi, Dr. Janice. I got tickled when you said my grand dogs.
What are grand dogs? What are grand dogs? Tell me.
Grand dogs are just like grandchildren because they come to you just like the grandchildren to do. So I add them in there too.
Okay. Are they puppies or?
Not anymore. They're pretty big. We have 2 pretty big dogs, and don't ask me the names of them now, but they're both really big breeds.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I know the names. Nova and Miles.
Yes, Nova and Miles.
And so is Nova a girl, a female?
Nova is a girl who lives in Houston
Oh.
with one of my twin sons. And
okay.
Miles lives in Colorado with my son that's in the Army there in Colorado.
Okay. All right. So let's get into this. A lot of my audience, quite a few, are women, single, maybe even, widows or divorcees, never been married. And quite a few of them are over 50, or if they're not over 50, they're, in their late 40s or whatever. So we want to talk about dating over safe dating over 50. So I gave them a little bit of your background, but what did I leave out anything? I want, you know what? I know that you were married and divorced, but take us back before you got married and before you knew what to do.
Before I got married.
Yeah, what did you do before you became a relationship coach?
Before I became a relationship coach, I am still a nurse practitioner of women's health. I've
Okay.
been doing that for going on 18 years now. Before that, for 23 years, I was a labor and delivery nurse. So I've always worked with women in some capacity as it comes to their physical and now their relationship health. Back in those days, I was married in the 21-year relationship, and at the time that I noticed that the relationship would not go any further, I didn't feel it should go any further. I had come to the point where I realized that all marriages don't last forever, and it didn't matter that it was 21 years. I didn't see myself staying somewhere where I was no longer happy, and I no longer felt that the relationship was moving forward. And so, right in the middle of grad school, I got a divorce, which was poor timing because grad school is not fun anyway. But add a divorce to it, it added quite a lot of drama during that time. But what it taught me was how to find who I was after those 21 years of marriage. I was not the same person that I was when I entered the relationship. I was 22 years old. And so, of course, I had grown a lot and realized, more of what my relationship goals were that weren't being met.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when you went into, well, you were young, so you went into it with all heart and not a
Mm-hmm.
lot of head. So
No, 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 no. A lot of heart, a lot of heart. And, we have this. My parents were married for 56 years. And so you have this, I had this fantasy that, my marriage would be, have longevity and it'd be happy and I'd have these happy kids and happy dog and great career. And the first part was good. And then it didn't grow because, two people have to work toward a relationship. It's not a fantasy. And relationships don't stay in that honeymoon stage forever. And when
very
you
true.
when you come out, there's work that needs to be done to keep it moving forward.
Right,
Hmm.
right, right, right. And so, uh, why did you say you would never get married again?
Because the divorce was so stressful. It took a lot out of me, and the last 5 years of the marriage took a lot out of me. There was no physical abuse or anything. It was just mental,
Okay.
emotional. So um, I just didn't feel that I would find someone that at my age that would fit the bill, because now it was all about me finding out who I was again. And I just thought I would never find someone, and didn't want to find anyone at that time. I was just so discouraged with the whole process of marriage and the whole divorce thing, till I said it was just going to be me, for the rest of my life.
Okay.
Hmm.
So, how long did it take you to, I guess, discover the steps, that you have now,
Hmm.
and then you're giving to other women to find, someone to get into that a relationship type coaching and to help midlife women or women in general to find someone?
It,
How
it
long did it take, after your divorce?
it took me 6 years.
Oh, okay.
It took me 6 years. The first year or so, it was all about, just like I said, finishing grad school, finding out who I was again. I was a fun loving person. I loved to dance. I loved to have fun. I loved to travel. And I wasn't traveling much at 22 because I had that kind of money, especially in school. But I love to have fun. And I was not that person anymore. And so I found her again. I started taking dancing classes, swing out classes, um, getting back in touch with close college friends that had been where was going because they had been divorced, and I just needed that support. And over that first couple of years, it was like, wow, this is who I was. This is who I was, and I was very happy with myself again because I had become very sarcastic. Men didn't even look. I didn't have to worry about men coming after me because they didn't look at me. When you have negativity in you, people can feel it.
Yeah, the vibes.
They
Yeah.
feel those vibes, and they know, don't even come over here. Don't even.
So you had that look. Don't
I had
even,
that look like,
don't even come over here.
don't even come over here. So after that went away, was going away, and during the process, I was journaling, and I was getting all those harsh feelings I had inside out on paper. And I actually have read my journals over the last year, and I get tickled because I had a lot of anger there, a lot of resentment came out on those pages. And once I got all that out, I started feeling like a new person. And so
Okay.
I was able to get to a place where I was able to allow someone to come back into my life again.
Okay. All
Mhm.
right. So now, this is what I want to ask you. I know you said I was reading your steps and everything, how you help women,
Mhm.
and you said something about self-confidence.
Yes.
So do you think that women, once they get to be midlife or 50 or even older,
Mhm.
that they start lacking self-confidence as far
Yeah.
as dating is concerned?
Yes, because we don't look like we looked when we were 20 years old or 30. We look
I don't
good.
know what you're
Don't
talking
get
about.
it wrong. We look good. Don't get it twisted. We look good. But we're not there. And so we've had children. For me, I was like, oh, I got stretch marks. It's like nobody gonna look. I had twins, big twins, 7'14", 7'9". So I got big twins. Look, I had stretch marks. It's like, okay, so nobody can see this. So we get caught up in that, midlife. And we don't realize that midlife is like a new beginning. It is a fresh start, and we have to get past that um, and enjoy the process of growing more vintage. I don't say older. We grow more vintage and embrace it. Embrace it.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. So do you think if you're a religious person, does that help you as far as getting out of your divorce and discovering a new way and all? Do you think that plays a part with some women? Is that a help?
I think it does help. I know it helped me immensely.
Okay.
Before I even got my divorce, I had counseling. I had counseling with a couples counselor, and I had counseling with my pastor because some religions tell you you can't get divorced. You shouldn't get divorced, and so that was one of the questions that was holding me back. And it's like I had to ask that question.
Okay.
And when I found out that um, that was okay. Marriages are 100%, 100%, not 50-50. Like I was saying, you give your 50, I give my 50. No, it's 100%. Both of us putting it all in. And once I got past that, that was a big part for me. Like I said, it was in my journals. I had Bible. I studied the Bible, so I had devotions in the morning. So I had devotion. So yes, in answer to your question,
Okay.
religion is a big part for some women.
Okay.
Hmm.
So why is it so hard for midlife women to find someone?
Because we've been through, we've had the trauma of divorce. We might have had by now trauma of being widowed, and again the self-esteem. We don't think that we can attract the kind of person in our life that we don't think we deserve it sometimes.
Okay.
And sometimes there's a lot of, like I said, resentment and unforgiveness, and so we can't let that go. If you can't let that go, you can't move forward. There's no way you can move forward because you drag all the negativity right into the next relationship, and it looks like you're getting into the relationship with the same person you just left because you
And you
haven't.
know what? And I've seen that where where women, let's say after they've been married or divorced or what, or just keep having relationships that don't work out,
Mhm,
they keep choosing the same kind of man.
mhm, mhm.
So you see that?
Yes, yes, I do. And so we have to recognize that. And sometimes you can't see that. It takes someone on the outside, objective, looking in to help you see what you're not seeing. Because a lot of times when you're choosing the same person, it's something in you that's attracting them. If you're attracting someone who's very controlling, it's something in your that you're doing, your characteristics, your personality that attracts that kind of person. If you're someone who's really, really wanting a relationship and you seem real needy, and men can pick up on that. I went to a speed dating event one of my colleagues had, and I actually asked a couple of men that question: Can you tell when women are desperate,
Hungry.
looking, yes, very hungry,
Hungry.
looking for a man? And he said, "Of course we can." So they can pick up on that, and the wrong man can use it against you and pull you in, and you are again in the same relationship that you left.
Okay. So now, what if you have all the confidence, um, you are confident about your body, you've accepted how your body is and
Mhm.
the whole bit, and you still can't find somebody. What's up?
Then I like to do a relationship um, vision assessment, so
Oh,
I can see where you're at, because we're not all at the same place at the same time. So the assessment shows me where you're at in the process. It picks out those areas where you're strong, and it picks out those areas that need improvement. And that's where we work on those areas that need improvement.
hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Hmm.
now let's say we have these areas where you see. Okay, let me step back.
Hmm.
Most women want to know.
Hmm.
Now they can have all the confidence in the world,
Hmm.
and they want to know how to find a suitable mate. How do you go about doing that?
Make yourself available. If you already have worked through your past and you feel confident, you have to make yourself available. I know too many women that say they want to find a good partner or a husband, but you're not making yourself available. They can't find you if you're in your house in your flannel pajamas in front of the TV with a glass of wine. You you have to make yourself available. Fix yourself up, get out and go where single men may be. And you don't have to go out looking for a husband. Go out just to um, become social again. Uh, Go bowling. Go, where men go. Go to the golf um, courses. Take some golf classes. Go dancing. I know COVID is still here, but you can go places where they don't have a large crowd and go dancing. any place where there are men, single men may hang out and just have conversations. You know, a lot of women our age are still stuck on the man coming up to us. And men like us to come to them when we're, you know, if we're interested. Now, we're not, you know, we're just having a conversation. We're not, you know, proposing for anything. We're just having a conversation, you know. Show your beautiful personality. Show that you're fun. Show that you're someone that would be great to be with and to take out. You know, and one of the complaints I get from a lot of women our age is that they think that men in our age group are they're looking for a housewife, you know, someone to cook for them, you know. But don't look at it like that. You know, don't look at that piece yet. You're not at that stage yet. Just get out and enjoy socializing. Get on. You know, a lot of us don't like to do online dating. Get online. What can happen online? Don't give up no money. Don't give up your address, you know, and only give your phone number when you think of someone you really want to talk to. Practice having normal conversation with men, and you will find one. When
Okay.
you become positive, you will attract what you are. If you're negative, you're going to attract negativity. If you're positive, you are going to attract someone positive.
So it's all about your frame of mind.
It's your frame of mind and how you present yourself.
And
What do they see when they see you walk into a room?
okay,
What do they
okay,
see?
okay. So the
Hmm.
way you carry yourself, and like you said, men can sense if you're desperate, or I like to say if you're hungry,
Hmm.
uh, or if you're just there and you have a nice smile on your face
Hmm.
and so on and so forth.
Hmm.
And I know when you said about online, I did have a woman on my show who was online, and when you said don't give up the money, she gave up $2.5 million.
Mm.
You know, and because and that's another thing. The person that she thought she knew
Hmm.
was very, very good, was a professional and very good
Hmm.
at, you know, what they do. And
Hmm.
this is what they do.
Exactly.
And so I know it's really important to be extremely careful when you are online. So what do they call it? Catfishing, you know.
Hmm.
And actually, that's what happened. She thought it was two of them. One of them thought she was going to be married and
Mm.
to this guy that lived in Italy, and he had sent her all these pictures and stuff like that, and where they were going to get married. And so when she flew early to check out the place, they said, you know, we don't have anything scheduled like that. And when she ended up finding him, he was married, and
Hmm.
this is what he did. And another one, um, it was like business deals that oh,
Hmm.
he's so good at. So it's very because sometimes we as women say, you know, we'll never fall for that.
Mm.
You know, we'll never. And so when you say
Hmm.
about really being careful,
Hmm.
I had a friend and I think she was quote hungry or
Hmm.
desperate,
Hmm.
and it ended up with the guy who lived with her for 2 years, but she came home one day and everything's gone.
Hmm. Hmm.
And and but she did say, there were red flags.
Hmm. Hmm.
So that's something that when we do get into a relationship, uh, as women over 50, or
Hmm.
just women, mature women, that
And
we
you have to one thing that some women will do that I am against us doing is get into a physical relationship too soon. As women, we you get emotionally attached, when you're intimate in that way. And you let's say you become intimate with a person that you think is okay early on, and then you start seeing all the red flags. Now you're already connected. You're connected. You're like, oh well, maybe I can change him, or maybe he's going to change down the line. No, believe what they show you, because men will show you who they are. Um, Believe when they show you who they are, and take time, enjoy dating, go on some outings together. It's not all about sex, even at our age.
Yeah, that was one of the questions I was going to ask you way down the line. Like, what about sex? Especially, I think sometimes if you are, say, over 50,
Mhm,
you might think that you don't have to be safe anymore because
mhm.
you're not going to get pregnant,
Yeah, so you can
you
get
know.
STD.
But yeah, that's the thing. You can get an STD. So let me ask you this. Do men, I know you work mostly with women, but I know
Yeah.
you also work with men. Do men and women have the same issues when trying to date safely when they're over 50? Or are the issues different?
Okay, so I've only worked with a couple of men, but the
Okay.
things that they're concerned with usually are feeling that um, they want to make sure that they're respected. Men want to be respected. Men want to feel like they're just not a wallet, that you're just not dating them for what they can do for you. What can you do for them? What do you bring to the table for them? Uh, they don't like. They want someone who is a good communicator. Uh, some men over 50 have issues, just like we have issues from divorces. They have triggers from past relationships, just like we do. And so they bring their baggage from other relationships into a new relationship if they have been hurt or if they've been cheated on. So it's the same. It happens for both
Okay.
men and women. We both have the same issues. We just handle them differently.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. And I'm going to go back to what we said about find finding the same person
Hmm.
that you either divorced from, or because you're not having successful relationships, keep going and finding the same man or the same woman.
Hmm.
So yeah, 'cause I always wondered about that.
Hmm.
I know a lot of men when they get over 50, they start looking for younger women,
Hmm.
you know, and I often wondered why. I thought, well, maybe they still see themselves as young, like they used to be, or something like
Hmm.
that. But
Hmm.
what about women? Uh, do you advise that if they're over 50, to look at younger men?
I advise them to look at whatever attracts them.
Okay.
Some women are very comfortable dating men that are 10 years under them, and they do very well. It's all about how comfortable you are, because some women can be 50 and have the personality of a 40-year-old, and then others can be 60 and have a personality of a 70-year-old. So it depends on your mindset and how you feel. And
Okay.
if you have a younger mindset, someone that's older or your age may not have that energy that you want in a relationship. And I'm not just talking intimacy, but just as far as going places, traveling. When I decided to get married again, that was one of the things we talked about, because I love to travel. In my last relationship, my partner didn't like to travel at all.
Okay.
So, being sure that you match with someone that has the same interests as you. And that's where the relationship vision comes in that I have women to do. So they know exactly what they're looking for before they start looking. And so they'll recognize almost immediately that, no, this is not the guy for me. And they don't waste their time. We don't have time to be wasting our time in your 50s and 60s, 8 and 10 years looking for a person to be in a relationship with. So you have a relationship vision. You know what you're looking for. You know what you don't want. And it makes it much easier for you.
Yeah, you're exactly right, because that's what my husband and I did. Well, when we were, boyfriend and girlfriend, just going together,
Mm-hmm.
we wrote down everything that was important to us,
Mm-hmm.
and compared it, and so we've been, and the thing is, this was both of our third marriage,
Okay.
which meant that uh, I would think that we chose our two previous spouses for the wrong reasons,
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
know.
Mm-hmm.
And so this time, because it's like, okay, this is the third time, that's it.
Third, it's a,
So,
time
uh,
is a
and
charm.
and we weren't looking for husband and wife,
Mm-hmm.
but once we, really got serious, then it was like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
actually, what is it actually that we're looking for? Now, it wasn't 100%, what I
Mm-hmm.
mean, like, oh, gee, you checked off all the boxes. But I always say, okay, so what is it that you can stand, or what is it that you can tolerate? What is
Mm-hmm.
not a big issue?
Exactly.
But what are the things that it's like, uh-uh, you
Mm-hmm.
know, this I have to draw the line to this. So,
Exactly. What are my non-negotiables, and
right,
what are my negotiables?
exactly,
What things, what characteristics does he have that are okay? We can work through that. And what
right,
characteristics does he have that no, this is not going to happen? You know,
right,
and you have to know that. And once you know that, it stands out. It really stands out for you. And it sounds like it wouldn't be something that will work, but it really does work. My list was so long, it was ridiculous. I actually had someone tell me, that list is kind of long. I said, well,
well, then because
I'm not planning on getting married anymore anyway. But if the Lord sends me somebody, he got to have all of this. And, and of course, I had to shorten that list because what women don't recognize is, especially over 50, we are not perfect. We're not perfect, and so we can't expect someone else to be perfect. And
right,
so you can have your list. You don't have. I'm not saying you have to settle, but make sure that it's something, a list that your goals are something that someone can reach. It's not unobtainable by the man.
right, I'm here messing around with buttons and things. So let me take a quick commercial. We're
Okay.
gonna come back because I have a couple of other questions that people have asked me to ask you.
Okay.
So we shall be right back.
All right.
Teresa Pushkar is a communications dynamo. A one-of-a-kind author and edutainer, she weaves her potent message on the power of present moment living into everything she does. With a history as audiobook producer and the director of coaching programs at the motivational book publishing leader Nightingale Conant, she was graced to co-create programs with such wealth-building luminaries as Brian Tracy, Jay Abraham, and Robert Kiyosaki.
Teresa is my audio producer. She worked with me on The Missing Secret. She wrote the workbook for The Missing Secret. She sat behind the studio screen, almost like this gemstone who was just radiating this loving energy. And every time I'd look up from my reading and look up from the mic, I'd look out over there and there's her smiling face. And I so loved working with her that I said, I'm going to record another program. Can you come and be the radiating gemstone again?
It took less than 10 days. We had 3 strategy sessions. She came up with an outline, and then we went into the recording studio. She had all these questions, and she just interviewed me. We walked out of there with 8 hours of usable audio. That is like a 300 to 400 page book.
We are back with our relationship coach for women who are 50 and over. However, if you need a video promo, if you need a book trailer, you want to promote your services or your products, we do it in-house. So if you liked what you have seen, just email relationshipmatterstv@gmail.com and have a discovery call with one of my technicians, and let us get you on the road to marketing your services, your books, or your products. All right, let us bring back Cheryl. Okay, Cheryl, this is the question that came. What about people who are widows or widowers, and they've been married, for like 40, 45 years?
Mm-hmm.
How do they go about dating, number one? And how long do you think they should wait before they really start dating? Before, I guess I would say, before their heads are together, their minds are together.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm going to answer the second question first. As far as when, the grieving process is different for everyone. And so you may have someone who is ready to date in about a year, and you may have someone who it takes much longer to get through the grieving process. How they know that they're ready to move forward is if they don't have, you can always have memories, I would think, of a spouse that passed away, in your presence somewhere. But if you have not even cleared the closet, your house still looks like when your husband left, you're probably not ready to start dating again. And for those that are ready, it's almost the same process. Just start getting out and socializing again. You might have I know a group of women that have a widows group, and they go on cruises together. So that's social. They're socializing together. And then while you're in a situation where there's single men have to be around, and so you get to start talking to people again, and moving in that direction until you decide that you want to be in a serious relationship again. Some people will never marry again, but they want a companion, and it just also takes time. They have to get through that grieving process. And for some of them, there's a little bit of guilt, there. Should I be dating again after my husband passed away? And if they have older children, sometimes older children have some input into that, and puts pressure on them when they want to date again. And so it's a lot of components to that. But when they're ready, they just get out and start socializing again, and if they get stuck, they need to get with someone to help them to see, to verbalize what it is that's keeping them from moving forward in that direction.
Okay, what I've noticed, and I don't know if this is true. I guess I really shouldn't generalize, but it seems to me like a lot of men, they don't wait that long, and I guess it's because they've been married for so long.
Mm-hmm.
They, I guess, these are my words, people.
Mm-hmm.
They can't function,
Mm-hmm.
without a wife because
Mm-hmm.
they've been married 45, 50 years or something. Whereas I noticed women
Mm-hmm.
will wait.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen, actually never have seen women who were widowed,
Mm-hmm.
who jump into a marriage. I mean, it might take 2, 3, 4, 5 years.
Right.
But men, either to me, it's like a year, a little bit more, maybe a year and a half,
Mm-hmm.
or not at all.
Right.
I mean, this is something that I've seen. So now you have a 12-week program.
I do.
So tell us about it.
Okay, so it's how to reignite and get your life back. Always my tag is Queen, get your life back. And it helps them to heal from where they are. See, first of all, we assess where they are, find out what's holding them back, because they usually will come to me when they have a problem. They've already tried this on their own and they're stuck. And so like I said, we do the assessment, see where they are. We work through finding out what goals they have as far as life goals and relationship goals. And then once we get past that, then we look at what new standards that they are wanting to set or they need to set. Because by this time, I've already seen their assessment and I know those areas where they need to improve. And so we work through that, those steps. And then after that, after we get through working on them and I feel that they're where they need to be, then we actually talk about how to, because think about it, at 50, if you've been in a marriage a long time, you don't know nothing about dating no more. Dating these days is totally different, and so we talk about dating. We talk about red flags to look for. We talk about, I'm a nurse practitioner, so we talk about safe sex, if they're going to be sexually intimate. So we cover all those areas. And then I cover online dating. Some women come to me and they say, I don't want to do no online dating. I said, but I show them anyway how to do it if they decide to do it safely, and what their profile should look like, what it should and should not say. Because how you set your profile will you can attract some of the worst people. So once we get there, some people are ready to go on their own and they start dating, and some people need a little bit more help. And so we connect once a week and see how it's going as they have questions, and we move from there. Some don't take the whole 12 weeks. Some do well at the 8 weeks. No two people have the same program because no two people's assessment will be the same. So it's very individualized.
Mm-hmm. And so, like you said, some people, don't need the whole 12 program,
right?
12-step program. So what success have you seen?
I've seen people who were attracting the wrong men all the time, one after the other, and now to where they can tell me, what experiences they have had and how they picked up on red flags. And it just makes me smile because I see how they have grown. They're dating again where they wouldn't date, where they said they weren't going to date. They're dating again. I see people who are just happier. They're not saying I'm not going to ever date again, like I said, and now they're socializing again, and having relationships. And so that's the key. I want them to have whatever it is type of relationship they want, because not everybody that, like I said, is over 50 wants to get married. Some people just want a companion, a long-term companion. And so I'm here to help them to find the best fit for them. Because, a lot of times they say there's not a lot of good men out there. There's lots of good men out there. You have to look inside and see what you're presenting to the outside.
So that's the issue. So ladies, that's the issue. But like some women will say, well, it's not me, it's them.
It could be them, but why are you attracting them? Why is that who you're attracting? And that's where I come in.
Okay. So have you thought about working with men? I have some men in mind. that keep you're looking like, why you keep attracting these kind of women? And they don't have a clue. And I think they probably need, someone to And you know what? And from a woman's point of view, because I think a lot of times most of the time, they don't look at it from a woman's point of view.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And with women, I would imagine sometimes they don't look at it from a man's point of view. So it's one thing that you did say, you didn't say it from a man's point of view, but some of the things that you talked about, I would think that it is from a man's point of view, especially when you said they can sense, if you're desperate, if you're
needy, yes, if you're needy,
and so on. So yeah, wow. And so have you seen from your 12-step program, have you seen marriages?
A couple of marriages, but the majority were just trying to get back into dating again. So not a lot of marriages. I only had 2 that got married. So I was happy with that. But mostly most of the women I have are business women, and they're just wanting to be able to date again because they feel that being an entrepreneur is another thing that keeps them from getting into relationships because of the status of the jobs that they have.
Right. Okay, a question just came in. How do you keep women from being discouraged to at least try again? If they, in other words, let's say they've gone through your 12-step program or 8 or whatever, and they know who they are, they have the self-confidence, they're out there, they're socializing, and they are discouraged because they might feel like I've been out there socializing, making myself available, so to speak, and it's been almost a year and I still haven't met anybody. How do you keep them encouraged?
First, I would look back and see what it is that what they're doing. When they say that they're making themselves available, what are the types of things that they're doing? Because what I think as far as making yourself available may not be the same as what they think is making themselves available. And there's no guarantee you're going to find somebody in a year, but if you have gone through all the work, you should be at least dating. And so we would look closer at that and see where we need to help you be more successful.
Okay, we have a question here from Gwendolyn Dunbar. And she says she's enjoying the conversation. And she says, how long should you wait before stepping out after a disastrous relationship?
Until you have healed completely.
Okay.
You're never going to forget. And I'm not saying that you'll forget, but you have healed enough and you have learned the lesson. I always say learn the lesson, because life happens to you life shows you the lessons that you need to learn. So learn the lesson that happened within that disastrous relationship. What happened? What was my part? What was his part? How do we keep this from happening again? So as a time frame, it just depends on how long it takes you to do the work and feel that you have forgiven and have able to move forward from that space.
Okay. All right. So now, let's say we've got women on here and they really want to contact you so they can get out there and start dating safely.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So tell us about how they can contact you. I got it, running across the bottom, but, just tell them how.
Yes, just go to my website, either at www.safedatingover50.com. You can send me an email there, drop me a comment there under the contacts, or you can just email me directly at Cheryl at safedatingover50.com. And that's Cheryl, Cheryl, at safedatingover50.com. And I'll connect with you. Send me your contact information, and I do complimentary discovery calls to where we just have a conversation to see is what you're looking for, if it's something that I can help you with.
I'm sure you can. I have a lot of friends that are over 50 and they like, I just can't find no man. And I mean, and they want companionship.
Yeah.
Not necessarily want to get married or anything like that, but they just want some companionship.
Right.
And so now you have a book here. We got a couple of minutes that you collaborated with. It's called Empowerpreneur.
Yes.
And so you contributed to it. So what was your contribution?
My contribution was talking about relationships, of course. And the goal was to show women that they can move forward and they can get their life back. I shared my story and how I moved forward, and I showed them with the permission of some of my former clients, their stories, to let you know how they came out of the situations that they were in and move forward successfully. So it's to encourage and inspire them to get their life back.
Okay.
50s plus is wonderful. This is a great time of our life, and we're a young vintage people. So live your life, and don't use the pandemic as an excuse to not live your life.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay. People out there, women out there, you the ones who know me and the ones who don't know me, I was well over 50 when I met my husband. I was like, you know what? I mean, I wasn't looking for a husband, but
Mm-hmm.
I did the things that Cheryl talked about. I got out there. I would go out by myself. If I wanted to go to a restaurant, even a fancy restaurant, I would go by myself.
There you go.
At one time I was out at a fancy restaurant and it was crowded, and the waiter came over. I was at a table by myself and said that it was a man that wanted a table, and was it all right if he joined me? I looked up and I'm like, ooh, okay. Now we didn't have a relationship afterwards, but we had a nice conversation and a nice lunch.
There you go.
So, ladies, get out there. Ladies, if you think that you want some assistance, get in contact with Cheryl at safedatingover50.com. Cheryl, thank you so much. I know the ladies and men who are watching got a lot of value out of uh, your visit here, and I want to thank you. I appreciate it, and for ladies who I know that didn't get a chance to watch tonight, I'm going to emphasize that no, you got to watch the replay.
Okay.
So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Janice.
All right, you have a good rest of your evening.
You too.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Wow, that was great. That was great. So, ladies, take her up on it, because I know there are a lot of you out there. You want to find you either a husband, a boyfriend, a companion, or even just a friend. And so, look for Cheryl. And also, of course, we get thank you. Dana said an excellent read and a great interview. I know Cheryl thanks you, and so do I. So next week, we're still on the love theme, and I'm going to have someone on here who's talks about almost the same thing, but she has what she calls a couples retreat. It's a vacation, and how to bring back that intimacy in your relationship. Intimacy, which includes sex, but not always sex, just intimacy. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you join me next week for Relationship Matters. And I want you to remember there are all kinds of relationships, and there are all kinds of relationship matters. So I'll see you next week.